All right, welcome to Transforming Lives. Our theme for this season is From Football to Fathers. And I'm interviewing fathers. They play football, they could be coaches, whatever the case may be, because I think it's important for us to hear their perspective on not just football, but also being a father. So there's no difference on tonight. My next guest, I call him TJ. And the way that we met, he is the cousin of my wife. So I know him very well, very serious gentleman. But moreover, he's a father. He's a head football coach. He cares about his family, cares about football, but he's just a good dude altogether. So I'm excited to bring TJ onto the stage.
What's up, bro?
What's up, man?
Not much.
Well, I'm excited that you're on tonight. We're gonna go ahead and jump into this thing, man. I can remember us talking about football, but moreover,
Definitely.
uh, the excitement that I see on Facebook, you going to Orlando, your kids, your coaches, and everything like that, man.
Yeah.
So definitely shout out to that because I see you doing big things, and that definitely has an impact on children, big
Yeah,
time.
definitely. It's been fun. This year was my last year coaching youth football. I'm gonna move on to high school, but I had a blast last 15 years.
Right, good deal. And yeah, you and the great thing about that is you understand once you get to high school, it's just a different perspective. I ain't gonna mess with that right there, but
Yeah,
it's
definitely.
yeah, it's a good deal. So I want to start this out by asking you this question. Can you tell us about a big moment that really, changed your life?
I really think the biggest moment for me was just knowing I was about to have a son. I wanted to be a good dad. I wanted to make sure I was around for him, did the right things, could provide for him. So I would say that made me who I am today. It's just, really when the dad call came through, hey, yeah, you're gonna be a dad. I had to make better decisions.
Oh man, listen, that man, I don't know.
That was
I
probably my
know.
biggest moment.
Yeah, I know we say nothing can prepare you for it, but like, man, just like, got the baby shower, but then like life hits.
Yeah, for sure. That's for sure. Like, it's one thing when it's like, you having a baby. It's another when he hits your hands or she hits your hands. It's like
Right.
I got a lot more responsibility, and I'm uh in charge of this person. You know what I'm saying? And what they gonna be. And you're just trying to mold them and make sure they do the right things and you know have a good upbringing.
Yeah, right. So let's kind of stay in that same vein. So how did being a dad make you see it differently? We've in that conversation. So
Man.
we got time. Go ahead.
I mean, I was one of them kids got into trouble, but not a lot of trouble, but I got into my fair share of trouble. So,
Uh-huh.
looking at it from a dad to being a kid, like my mom used to tell me all the time, like, you don't understand how much I love you. You know what I'm saying? You be like,
Yeah.
man, you love me as much as I love you, but that ain't true. You don't really understand what love is until you have a kid.
Right, right. Yeah, yeah. And that's the amazing, man, that's the amazing thing about it. Your parents telling you something, you like, ah, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
But when you get in that car seat, you get in that
yeah,
seat, that driver's seat.
that's for sure. That's for
Uh,
sure. I
yeah,
still remember strapping them up. I think at that time I think it was a '06 Hummer, right? So
uh-huh.
I ran back to go get my truck. Everything was strapped up, ready to go, and I put them in the seat. I'm like, man, like I got a boy, because everybody want a boy. You know what I'm
Right. Yeah,
saying?
yeah,
Like for the
yeah,
most part.
yeah.
And it was just like being able to see that, and then like now just looking at him and how he's grown and the type of kid he is, it's been cool to watch.
Right, definitely, man. Look, I'm struggling, man. Cam, Nikki went and got him some shoes, man. He's wearing a 10 now.
Mm. You in that price range.
Not just the price range, but he up there wearing the shoes that the size I can.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Nah,
yeah.
that's how it go. I mean, it's just crazy. I mean, even my daughter, you know, She's out dancing now. You know,
Uh,
I'm as big of a fan as I am of football. Like I'm her biggest fan at the dance competitions. It's cool to be able to do all that with
I'm glad you brought that up because many times we talk about football and we talk about our sons in sports, but I like that you highlighted that part of saying you being her biggest cheerleader.
her. That's
Be-
facts.
Because if she understands it the right way, man, that it's nothing like it.
No, it's not, man. She the one who, when I open the door, comes to the door. Hey, daddy. You know what I'm saying? Like my son just wait for me to come speak to him, dap me up, and he back on his game or back to working out, whatever he doing.
Oh man, I'm glad you highlighted that because when you talk about that daughter, the daddy's girl,
Yeah.
um, that's powerful. I don't understand it. I got them two knuckleheads over there.
Nah,
Well, yeah,
nah,
one's on
it's
the game
cool.
right now.
Yeah, that's believe me. My son, PS5, he messed the HDMI socket up. So we trying to get that straight for him in the next day and a half. Always something. Always. I don't know how he did
Right, and that's yeah, man. Yeah. Okay. So,
it.
uh, you've talked about your experience, just what changed your life. You talked about how you see things differently. So, those that are on, they're looking for dads. I think the thing is, we sometimes don't openly ask for advice. We may kind of be subtle with it. So, what's the best advice someone gave you when things were tough?
Oh man. I think my biggest advice has just been, like don't hide from it. If something's tough, don't go around it, go through it. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? Grow
yeah,
through it.
yeah.
Those are the big things for me. And then, of course, my mom is great with quotes, right? So one of her other things is, what's for you is for you. You can't worry about what's not for you. You know what I'm
Uh,
saying? So that helps me a lot. In tough times, like if I'm supposed to go through this, I'm
yeah.
supposed to go through it. And I think, I've gotten through some tough situations by just growing through it.
Just growing through it, man. Look, growing at 20 is different than growing at 30, different growing at 40, and so on and so on. Like it's a different, but I
That's
like what you
facts.
said. You got to keep going.
You definitely do. And it's easy to say, man, it ain't fair. You know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't fair. Like, we go through this and go through that and like some people had a silver spoon, where our family's from. It's
Yeah,
we come from the deep south. So it's Mississippi, it's for me
right,
Louisiana. So my parents are from, next to
right.
nothing and they really put on so we had a good upbringing and like some of the stuff we like complain about. I remember growing up in grandma's house in the summer. We I hate to say this, we had to go to the bathroom off the back porch at 3 o'clock in the morning because there's only one bathroom. You know what I'm saying? Like even with
Yeah,
somebody else in there, we gotta go.
right.
So
Yeah,
like just knowing that things have gotten better. And I think my son and my daughter are growing up better than I did because, I went through some things growing up.
yeah, yeah. And that's the thing, man. Our perspectives. Um, my mom corrected me the other day about some stuff I said, and she brought up my past of saying you did the same exact thing.
That's
So,
facts.
but it's important to not to forget, but also help them to shape themselves.
Yeah,
Because you said something earlier about that statement about it's not fair.
life ain't fair, especially for us.
Right.
You you know what I'm saying? Like, and for me, right? Like, I feel like I had good parents, right?
Yeah.
There were some things I wish, be different. And I think as I got older, I was like, if I want them to be different, I'm gonna just do them differently for my kids. You know what I'm saying? Like I
Yeah.
wanted to be around and be a little bit more into communicating with my kids a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? So we would have understandings, and I think it's went pretty good. That don't mean we ain't had blow ups, but
Right.
it's part of growing up, especially with
Yeah.
kids.
Yeah. Yeah. And we have that opportunity to make those different moves and saying, okay, we had this picture that we can look at, we can model it, but hey, I want to do those things differently in
Yeah,
this area. And I can agree with you on that communication piece, man. Of that's something that regardless of the gender, whether it's um, a guy or girl, son or daughter, they have to have that skill set
yeah,
um,
definitely.
because that's needed. That's needed in whatever career they're going to go, whatever they're going to do in school. They need that skill set. So yeah, I'm with you on that.
That's true.
Yeah, yeah. So we're kind of in that. This next question is: what tips do you have for people going through big changes, or and you can do it or and however you want to do it, big changes or becoming a parent.
Becoming a parent, I think the biggest thing is just have patience.
Mhm.
Don't rush to judgment. Everybody is raised different. So whoever you having a kid with, you gotta understand they had an upbringing too that might have been completely different from yours. So you have to be able to see that and know that you guys gotta be on a team with each other first. And then that's how you guys are gonna really raise your kid the way you want to raise them or her. So I think that's the biggest thing as far as becoming a parent. For me, man, I've just been blessed with a wife that really can communicate and tell me when I'm wrong because I'm not always right either. So and she don't do it in front of the kids. She'll kind of
Right.
hey, let's
Yeah.
talk over here. You know what I'm
Yeah. Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
like
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and because like when we grew up, we got them whoopings. You know what I'm saying? We got whoopings, we got pop, we got yelled at, and
Yeah.
sometimes it's easy to revert back to that stuff, but there's sometimes when they need that stuff. So you just got to know when and where, and it's all in. And I feel like it's all in how you say things. It's not really what you say anymore; it's how you say it. So you can look at somebody and say, "Hey, clean your room," right? Or you can keep whining and moaning, and that might not get through them. They might be able to tune that out. So I just think it's about communicating.
Oh man, you hit some powerful stuff of saying number one, team,
For sure.
and how you have to have that conversation prior to that you go in and they and the children see it's on the husband and the wife or the girlfriend boyfriend are on that same
Level.
they're here.
Yeah.
uh I didn't realize how important that was, man. um I guess until you got married.
Yeah, that's the fact. Until you about to have them kids, and you like, well, I thought we should do this, and you're like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? So, and those the big arguments is when you just don't really know, and you still get put in positions where you like, I don't know if I'm comfortable with that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
and you guys have to have a thing where you guys can talk to each other and figure that out while it's going on, because it's different when you got those boys and they getting older, uh and they want to do certain things because I got nephews, you know what I'm saying, that kind of stayed with me, uh and they were like test subjects, you know what I'm saying, I want to go,
Yeah.
hey, I want to go to this hotel party. I'm like, nah, I don't really like you going to a hotel party because girls do X, Y, Z, and then it's we in the courtroom and nah, we ain't doing it. And then it's like, well, it's not that bad if, and you just got to figure out the balance. So, you know, you just try to keep the kids out of bad situations.
We start sounding old,
Oh
right?
yeah, for sure, for
No, man, you
sure.
can't. Yeah, yeah. You
The
you
same
had
stuff we used to want to go do. You like, I don't know if I really feel cool with you doing that. So yeah, it's funny how life works full
right.
circle.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's the thing where I'm and you're in that same predicament where I got a middle schooler. And I say this to people, I've taught middle school for 20 years, but it's so different now that I have a son in middle school. So I'm like, I'm telling him, don't do this, don't do that. I'm trying to head it off.
Yeah,
Be careful here.
yeah. It's traps everywhere, especially in school. Because they come into contact with so many different people from so many different backgrounds, and it's are they strong enough to stand in what they believe in and what you teach them? And that's it. And to be honest with you, like I wasn't strong enough to stand in what I was taught all the time, and
Yeah,
I got in some trouble for it. And you usually come back to what you taught, so
yeah.
just keep teaching them and be patient with them because most of the time they're gonna come back and do the right thing.
Right, right. No, man, this is a solid conversation, man. I do appreciate usually at the end I give people the opportunity, man, something that maybe came to your head that we didn't necessarily talk about. You got it. The floor is yours. Whatever you want to say, man, go ahead. The floor is yours.
Man, I really want to thank like a lot of guys, and when we talk about parents, I
Hmm.
think this is the best generation of black fathers. And that's no slight to moms,
Right.
but you see so many dads doing the right things, and I don't
Hmm.
think they actually get credit for it. So I would
Hmm.
like to salute, the dads that's out here really doing the right things and being involved in their kids' life, whether they married to the mom or they're co-parenting. I think we don't hear that enough. How good of a job these black men are doing right now.
Man, I'm glad you brought that point up. That they need to hear. We need to hear that because we hear so many other thoughts, and those thoughts, man. Um, what's the saying? Sticks and stones may break your bones.
The words will never
Uh,
hurt
man, that ain't true.
you. Man, words hurt more. The sticks and stones only hurt for a little while. You know what I'm saying? You be laying in the bed, and one
Yeah,
day yeah, I did
yeah,
this. You get
yeah,
hurt. You know what I'm saying? So, you
yeah.
know, I think the words hurt more than sticks and stones. I
Right,
think we always us growing up, we all had to fight.
right.
We
Yeah.
all had to do some of that stuff, and um, I just think that stuff don't really hurt because you get over it after you go to sleep for about 15 minutes. You know what I'm saying? But you can still remember somebody who hurt you, and I don't know if people really understand this, but can you remember who your third grade teacher was?
Well, yeah, I can, but that's a whole nother story. But go ahead.
You remember your third
I
grade teacher?
remember my third grade teacher. Yes.
Watch this. Do you remember what your parents might have wronged you at 5 through 13,
Uh,
or any big arguments y'all had growing up?
I can say yes.
You can.
Yeah.
Who's the last? Do you remember the last person, like as a grown up, who you really felt like really hurt you? Not family,
Nah.
because when you kids, it matters so much more because that's all you know,
Yeah.
right? So those are the situations that hurt you more when you're a child, in my opinion, right? Because
Hmm.
you remember when such and such didn't show up, right? But if you got a
Oh,
friend right now that don't show up to dinner, you're not worried about it. You know what I'm saying?
right,
Like,
right.
because
Great
you
point,
have
man.
perspective now. But the
Yeah.
perspective when you're 5 through 13 is everything matters. You
Right.
know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And you don't understand how that shapes you going forward. And I think sometimes we aren't receptive to kids like that don't matter because it don't matter to us, but it matters a whole lot to them. So, I just think for us, we got to really think about how it's going to affect them going, later into their life.
Oh man, that's some good stuff. Yeah, I got to clip that part, man. That little part you just said 5 to 13, I got to clip that. I got to put that in the clip. No, that's not. No, that's good because that's a whole man. That's a whole conversation.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, listen, man. I'm gonna wrap this up. And I'm gonna put you in the backstage just for a moment. So